Hello, fellow investors, and welcome back to Borex Investing. So today we're going to be talking about Palantir, which is one of the most controversial yet fascinating stocks in the market today. The stock has absolutely surged recently, and everyone's asking the same thing. What's driving this recent move, and what happens next as we head into the upcoming earnings report? So in this video, we're going to break down what's behind Palantir's recent rally, the two massive announcements that were made in the past week, and my bull and bear case scenarios for what could happen after this next earnings report. All right, so let's be honest here. Palantir is a very polarizing name. Whenever I make a Palantir video, I get comments saying it's overvalued, that the price to sales ratio is ridiculous, and that calling them the next Microsoft makes me delusional or a clown. But you know, markets run on momentum, not opinions, and right now, Palantir has plenty of momentum. And you gotta remember, with Palantir, the trend is your friend as an investor. So people have been calling the stock overvalued forever, when it was $50, $80, $100, $150, and they're gonna be doing the same thing now that it's trading at around $200. Yet it keeps proving the critics wrong and it keeps moving up. So, I've been a Palantir bull for years. I wrote about how much I love this stock back in 2021, and I built up thousands of shares during the pullback that we had in 2022. So it's been one of the most rewarding investments for me, not just financially, but in terms of just the freedom that the gains have given me. So yes, full disclosure, I am very biased here and I am a Palantir bull. So now let's talk about what actually sparked this rally. So announcement number one was that Palantir signed a major deal with the Polish Ministry of Defense. Now this one hits very close to home for me. I am in Poland and we take defense very seriously here given what's happening on our eastern border. And just, of course, because of our general history. So having access to best-in-class AI and military analytics from Palantir isn't just good news for Poland, it's good news for all of Europe. President Trump has made it clear that NATO members in the EU really got to contribute more on defense, that America will no longer be footing the bill. So generally great for Palantir that Europe will start spending more on defense. And let's hope this trend continues and we get more European contracts for the firm. So we don't have official numbers yet regarding the deal, but that's because defense and intelligence contracts are often classified or partially redacted, especially when they involve NATO members like Poland. But to put things in perspective, in 2025, the UK announced a new strategic partnership with Palantir worth up to 950 million USD over 5 years. So if that's the benchmark, this deal with Poland could easily be in the same ballpark. So we have to remember that Poland is NATO's biggest relative spender on defense right now, outspending everyone else as a percentage of GDP. So this partnership with Palantir could be massive in scale and long-term value. So this is really a huge validation of Palantir's platform and international trust in their capabilities. All right, moving on. Announcement number two came from the NVIDIA GTC Washington D.C. conference, where NVIDIA and Palantir unveiled a groundbreaking partnership. They're integrating Palantir's AIP platform with NVIDIA's accelerated computing stack, targeting enterprise and government AI use cases, logistics, operational AI, and beyond. So this is absolutely massive. It's like a perfect marriage of software and hardware. Palantir's ontology meets NVIDIA's GPU muscle. And get this, Jensen Huang called Palantir's ontology the single most important enterprise stack in the world. So following that conference, NVIDIA's market cap crossed $5 trillion, and Palantir shot up to $200 per share, giving it a market cap of around 470 billion USD. So, I've said for years that Palantir will be a trillion-dollar company. I originally thought that this might happen by 2030, but at this pace, with rate cuts on the horizon, with Trump's pro-growth policies, with AI demand exploding and just the US economy firing on all cylinders, Palantir might hit that milestone much sooner. So it's absolutely incredible to me that there are some people that are still bearish on this company. Now let's talk what's coming up next, Q3 2025 earnings. So Palantir reports after market on November 3rd, and this is going to be a pivotal report for them. So the two main questions are going to be, can Palantir continue to grow both commercial and government revenue? And will they raise guidance for the rest of the year? So obviously Wall Street wants to see both a beat and a raise on revenue and EPS. So for reference, in Q2, Palantir grew 48% year over year and posted a Rule of 40 score of 94%. So for those unfamiliar, the Rule of 40 is a SaaS metric that adds a company's revenue growth and profit margin. So if that sum is over 40%, it signals elite performance, and Palantir more than doubled that last time. So the big question for Q3 is, can they do even better? If they can, this could really ignite another leg higher. So here's what they expect for Q3. Revenue at or above 1.08 billion and adjusted income from operations between 493 and 497 million. A bear case would be a slight miss versus guidance, maybe revenue flatness a bit. And in that case, I would expect a retractment towards the $150 range. More likely is a base case where they will meet or slightly beat guidance, maybe maintain or modestly raise full year 2025 outlook. If that happens, we actually could see a short sell-off or consolidation around the $180 range, which would be a healthy reset before the next move up. Now, bull case, if they really beat on the top line and have revenue over 1.1 billion and have strong EPS and margins, and maybe if they have a guidance raise, that combination could really send the stock above $215 before year end. So I personally do think they are going to have this bull case because the rate at which they're growing is just, this company is unstoppable. Some final thoughts. I remember all the hit pieces from Citron Research earlier this year. They were shorting Palantir, they were calling it overhyped, and now they're nowhere to be found as Palantir keeps reaching all-time highs. So they likely got crushed shorting this stock. And Palantir continues to prove the doubters wrong. Retail investors love it, institutions are starting to come around, and the company's fundamentals just keep getting stronger. So personally, I love owning this stock, not just for the upside, but because selling covered calls on Palantir is incredibly profitable right now. The option premiums are phenomenal, and it's a great way to generate extra income while holding long term. So I'm still very bullish here, and I think we're just getting started with this story. All right, that's it for today's video. If you found this helpful, please make sure to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments how you feel about Palantir. Thank you.